Netflix has many amazing spine chillers, but these South Korean thriller series are especially a must-watch and some of the best TV of recent years. The mid-1990s in South Korea saw rapid growth in the filmmaking industry. Before Train to Busan and Parasite, South Korean cinema exploded onto the international scene in the early 2000s with Old Boy, The Host, and many more, leading to a period rightfully called the Golden Age for South Korean films. This list of the best Korean thriller series on Netflix will allow the viewer to get to know another facet of modern South Korean media. Number 10, Sweet Home. Following the death of his family in an accident, Cha Hyun-soo, played by Song Kang, moves to a new apartment. He is suicidal, but the day he was planning to do it, he hears his bell ring. When he goes to check who it is, he sees his neighbor saying, "I'm hungry," outside through the intercom. But the neighbor slowly turns into a monster and Hyun-soo gets scared and doesn't reply. After a minute he checks again and opens the door and finds no one outside. Slowly there were some sounds and strange incidents started happening in his apartment complex and all over Korea. As people start turning into monsters, Hyun-soo and the other residents try to survive. They band together and have to barricade their building's entrance while trying to take back some floors and fight monsters. They are faced with many situations where they have to face monsters and other groups of hostile people, and ration their supplies to survive till help can reach them. We can see the different types of people contributing in positive ways, some being heroes and some helping others, but there are also a few who are a menace and create trouble among themselves for various reasons. It goes to show the true human nature of characters when stuck in a life or death situation. I thoroughly enjoyed my time watching Sweet Home. In the end, it was not perfect but was definitely refreshing from the other entries of a similar genre. I recommend streaming it on Netflix. Number 9, Strangers from Hell, also named Hell is Other People. The series revolves around Yoon Jong-woo, an aspiring crime fiction writer in his 20s who moves to Seoul in search of a better life. He resorts to living in a tiny communal residence named Eden Studio, alongside some eerie tenants, though not thrilled about either the quality of the place or its residents, and despite many red flags, he decides to put up with the rundown place for a couple of months until he can save enough money to move out. However, incongruous occurrences keep happening, making him paranoid, anxious and scared. Jong-woo is the typical underdog. He comes from a humble background, lacks a father figure to rely on, and has a sick brother and single mother to look after. He moves to an unfamiliar city to realize his dreams. His senior, who offered him a job, continually looks down on him, berating him, to boost his own ego. His girlfriend is too caught up in her own miserable job to take his worries seriously, and he has very peculiar and suspicious people for neighbors, people who make him feel unsafe. Overall, everything and everyone around him makes him feel alone. The show does a great job portraying the harsh realities of someone financially straitened, moving out of the safety and comfort of their homes to live closer to work and take a shot at fulfilling their dreams. Strangers from Hell is the whole package. It has stylish cinematography that intensifies the tone of the narrative, a stunning soundtrack, resplendent acting and, most importantly, very crisp writing and disturbing when they need to be. Number 8, Extracurricular. Extracurricular begins by introducing the audience to Ochisu, a student with perfect marks, a choice of all the top universities, and a record of no bad behavior. He's the perfect student, so superb that even the teachers are irritated by his excellence, so good that he's nearly invisible. That's the essential plot point in the beginning premise. This youngster is socially invisible, so much so that no one would suspect he's involved in a sex workers' underground crime syndicate. Extracurricular on Netflix uncovers Ochisu's secret immediately, using his phone to generate a robotic voice when one of the sex workers is in a risky situation with a customer. Ochisu's method to security is creative and intricate. He does not need to physically attend the scene. Instead, he has his trusted man take commands. Everyone else refers to Ochisu as uncle, presuming he's a large, balding man who heads the group, but he's actually only a youngster. However, Extracurricular, like any other teen drama, demonstrates how complex it can be for a kid suffering raging hormones and profound loneliness. His desire to earn 90 million won is thwarted by his crush on Bae Gyuri. There is always a flaw in all criminal lords. Number 7, Vagabond. Dynamic and unpredictable, Vagabond continues the tradition of the greatest conspiracy thrillers. Stuntman Cha Dul-gun's life is changed forever when he loses his nephew in a plane crash en route to Morocco. As he investigates the tragedy, he stumbles upon a conspiracy on an international level. Determined to get to the truth, he partners with the National Intelligence Service. Vagabond is not looking for a scapegoat, or attempting to show that the system is good albeit fallible. It goes deeper and fervently attacks the whole system, showing the full extent of the behind-the-scenes games where human lives are expendable and people become monsters. Number 6, My Name. Following her father's murder, a revenge-driven woman puts her trust in a powerful crime boss, and enters the police force under his direction. Yoon Ji-woo, a member of an organized crime ring, goes undercover as a police officer and harbors cold revenge in her heart. Helping Yoon Ji-woo go undercover is Choi Moo-jin, the boss of the biggest drug ring in Korea, whose true motives are not easy to read. Jun Pil-do is a police detective in the Drug Investigation Unit. He is a stickler for rules who becomes Yoon Ji-woo's partner when she joins the police. Cha Gi-ho is the team leader of the Drug Investigation Unit. He and Choi Moo-jin have long been enemies, with Cha Gi-ho vowing to take down his crime ring before he retires. Young Tae-yu is Choi Moo-jin's subordinate in the drug ring. Because of his steadfast loyalty, he is Choi Moo-jin's most trusted henchman. Do Gang-ye is a former member of the drug ring. After causing problems and getting kicked out of the gang, he vowed revenge against them. Number 5, Save Me. Save Me chronicles the story of a young woman in Sangmi, Seo Yi-ji, who moves to the suburb town of Muji after their family suffered financial difficulties in Seoul. In the hopes of starting a new environment for his bullied twin brother, who endured the trauma he incurred from the city, they adjust to their new dwelling as her father finds a job to support the family. But her twin brother unfortunately sustains the same fate in the new school, leading to his eventual suicide. It leads to her mother's insanity and her father's hopeless attempt to make things work for their family by joining a religious cult run by pretentious spiritual leaders. Han Sang-wan and Suk Dong-chul are typical high school country boys, who chance upon Sang-mi's family when they just newly arrived in town. When Sang-mi's brother becomes the school bully's target, the two best friends shield her brother, except that one instance when she badly pleads for their help. Sang-wan refuses due to his father's position as a running politician in the upcoming election. Number 4, Beyond Evil. A philosophical parable about human relations in the shape of a deft whodunit, Beyond Evil mercilessly teases its audience with its unreliable narration. It gives viewers facts and lets them play detective, just like Han Yu-won, a young detective on a single-minded quest to close the case his father couldn't. The series competently distributes questions and answers, not letting it turn into a flustered stockpiling of riddles and themes. The further Han Yu-won goes in his investigation, the more personal it becomes. From an indifferent observer, he becomes an active participant. In this way, a classic detective story turns into a psychological journey to the feelings and memories immured in cellars of the soul. Number 3, Stranger. Stranger is a South Korean crime thriller drama television series released in 2017. The series stars Cho Sung-woo and Bae Do-na as prosecutor and police lieutenant detectives teaming up to solve a mysterious murder case and uncovers a larger corruption scheme within the government on the way. Hwang Shi-mok underwent brain surgery as a child to curb his violent temper, which left him devoid of emotions. Hwang becomes a prosecutor known for his piercing intelligence and logic, but he is ostracized because he lacks empathy and social skills. He is also one of only a handful of upright prosecutors who have refused to take bribes. One day, he encounters a stabbing victim while investigating corruption. He meets Lieutenant Han Yo-jin at the crime scene. They join forces to root out corruption at the prosecutor's office and solve a serial murder case. Number 2, Squid Game. Squid Game is a South Korean television series streaming on Netflix. It is a survival drama written and directed by Hwang Dong-hyuk. The series, distributed by Netflix, was released worldwide on September 17, 2021, and has a count of 9 episodes. The series revolves around Song Gi-hun, a divorced and indebted chauffeur, who is invited to play a series of children's games for a chance earning a large cash prize. When he accepts the offer, he is taken to an unknown location where he finds himself among 455 other players who are also deeply in debt. The players are made to wear green tracksuits and are kept under watch at all times by masked guards in pink jumpsuits. The games are overseen by the front man, who wears a black mask and black uniform. The players soon discover that losing the games results in their death, with each death adding 100 million to the potential 45.6 billion grand prizes. Gi-hun allies with other players, including his childhood friend Cho Sang-woo, to try to survive the physical and psychological twists of the games. Number 1, Kingdom. Set in Korea's medieval Joseon period, it tells the story of Crown Prince Lee Chang, Ju Ji-hoon, who becomes embroiled in a coup/political conspiracy and is forced to embark upon a mission to investigate the spread of a mysterious undead plague that has beset the current emperor and the country's southern provinces. The story starts with a notice written in Korean on a billboard, claiming the king of Joseon is dead and the crown prince should be crowned immediately as the new king. However, inside the palace, the king is known to be severely sick and has been secretly treated for the past 10 days. No one was allowed to visit the king, not even the crown prince himself. Late at night, the crown prince sneaks out to visit his father, wanting to know the truth. But instead of his own father, he encountered the silhouette of a beastly monster, accompanied by the physician Seo Bai, Bae Do-na, the enigmatic young Sin, Kim Sung-kyu, and his personal guard Mu Young, Kim Song-go. Prince Lee Chang must prevent the advance of the plague towards his home capital of Hanyang, present-day Seoul, while addressing the sinister coup masterminded by Minister Cho Hak-ju, Ryo Sung-ryang, and his family aimed towards his deposition from the throne. This was all from Movie Plays. Hope you liked the video, comment if you have any questions and don't forget to subscribe.